It's time to begin a video. After a very hectic 10 minutes, right, I went to open my curtains, and they fell off the wall. I shouldn't be dealing with that. What's the time? Is it flipping 2 o'clock in the afternoon already? 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I have not done anything today. Scratch that, I have. I've gone to the shops. And I got myself some watermelon. The point of the video today is not about watermelon, though. Put you there. I'm like really disorganised today. As I was saying before my video, I cut myself off with my video. I'm really disorganised today. Because I've been preparing for my degree this week. I'm starting out the humanities degree in a month. I've been preparing for that, looking at the reading list. The reading list looks so cool. And just, you know, sorting out student finance. Don't become an adult. It's the most stressful thing in the world, I swear. But anyways, the point of this video is a book haul, part 1. Because I buy way too many books. Hi, my name is Charlie and welcome back to my channel. I hope you like that little introduction of me blabbing on about books, university and adulthood. If you are new here, welcome. I talk about chronic illness, I talk about studying, I talk about writing and life in general. And I will probably talk a lot about watermelon because I live for the stuff. Today we are doing a book haul, part 1. This is sort of as part of Freshers from Home, but not really. I have 3 sections. We have fiction, we've got mythology rewrites, and we have stuff for university. So without further ado, let's go. I'm going to start off with fiction. Our first category is the wonderful category of fiction. Now, I love fiction. I'm really bad at reading non-fiction books, and I love fiction books. And I have especially been loving contemporary and young adult and new adult fiction. There are not many books in this haul of fiction books. There are way more in the university section. And obviously this is only part 1, so there will be more books. I am going to go to London and buy more books, I promise. This is so great. I'm doing something that gives me an excuse to buy books. But anyways, we have 3 books in the fiction section. 2 modern day young adult and 1 classic. Before we start, why was I just about to put that in front of her? Hi, Woofy. This is my dog. Hi. Hello. You want to say hi to the camera? Hello. They're not paying enough attention to you downstairs. No? You're not enough people. Oh, no kisses. Right, he's going to come and lie here. Before we start, my sister gifted me with these 2 beautiful bags. I've been wanting bags like this for ages. They are the Penguin... Stop falling. Book bags. This one is A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. And it's purple. It looks brown on camera, but it's purple. And then my all-time favourite, The Casebook of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and it's green. My favourite colour is green. Do you not feel like I'm paying you enough attention? You need to go downstairs, my love. I've come back again. This is going to have so many stops and starts. The dog is now lying down. Geese. And I'm actually going to begin showing you the books. So the first one, this was my most recent, least recent. I just drank Coke way too quickly and now my eyes are watering. The Woman of Rome. There is way too much sun right now. There we go. By Alberto Moravia. This is I want to say it's a classic. Well, written in the 1900s, late 1900s, but 1900s nonetheless. And it is about a Italian prostitute being seduced by a chauffeur and it is in Mussolini's Rome. So I think it'll be really interesting. I love all kinds of classics, so I am bound to love this. It was translated from the original Italian, which is really cool. Anyone who knows me will know that I love books that have been translated from other languages, which you will see later. So yeah, that is book number 1. Put it over there. Book number 2, right. These 2 books, right, I am on BookTok. And for those of you who don't know what BookTok is, it is the side of TikTok that talks only about books. And I spend a lot of my time on BookTok, and both of these next books have been mentioned a lot. So the first one is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I have only heard good things about this, so I'm actually really excited to read it. I haven't read it yet, but I have flicked through it, and to just let you know what the book is about, reclusive Hollywood icon Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. We love it already. But when she chooses unknown magazine reporter Monique Grant to write her story, no one is more astounded than Monique herself. Love that. From making her way to Los Angeles in the 1950s to leaving show business in the 80s, and of course, the 7 husbands along the way, Evelyn unspools a tale of ruthless ambition, unexpected friendship, and a great forbidden love. I love forbidden love. But as Evelyn's story nears its conclusion, it becomes clear that her life intersects with Monique's own in tragic and irreversible ways. It sounds so good, and it sounds right up my street. I will do a review of this. I will, because, yes. In fact, I'll probably put I have a Linktree account that has all of my various social media accounts, and I'll put my Instagram into that. I'll put it in the bio so you guys can see my review once I've read this. The dog's in the wardrobe. That's nice for him. Final book in the just young adult fiction. They both die in the end. I'm reading this today. I have not started it yet, but I'm reading it today. And I would like to say I got a lot of these books secondhand. I love to buy my books secondhand, and this one I got off Vinted, which is great for buying books. Seriously. I'm going to cry. I know I'm going to cry, but you know what? Sometimes books that make me cry are my, what do you call them? Weakness. It's my soft spot. It is. So, I'll just read you the back so you know what it's about. On September 5th, a little after midnight, Deathcast calls Mateo Torres and Rufus Emeterio to give them some bad news. They're going to die today. Mateo and Rufus are total strangers, but for different reasons, they're both looking to make a new friend on their end day. The good news, there's an app for that. It's called The Last Friend, and through it, Rufus and Mateo are about to meet up for one last great adventure, to live a lifetime in a single day. I can't wait to read this. And we'll probably review it on my Instagram tonight, maybe tomorrow. And onwards to our next category, which is Greek mythology rewrites. I have a large collection of these, and I'm slowly building it up. Unfortunately, lots of Greek mythology rewrites are very published in the here and now. I drank my Coke too fast again. And published in the here and now. I completely lost my train of thought for a second there. Lost in the here, nope, not lost in the here and now. Written in the here and now, which means that they all need to be bought new because they're not sold second hand yet. Because, well, to put it lightly, a lot of them were published only a few months ago. And a lot of them were published maybe last year and rose to fame sort of this year. And therefore, there's not loads to buy second hand. So these next 2 books I bought new. One of them was from Amazon, and the other one was from Foyles. So the first one is Lore. I have only heard good things about this book. So basically the premise is there is, for 1 week only, every 7 years, Zeus punishes the gods and makes them mortal. They're forced to walk the earth and hunted by humans who want their powers. And this is about a girl whose family was brutally murdered. And she wants to get revenge. And she works with Athena. So I'm very interested in that. Look at this like artwork in the middle of it though. And yes, I do break my spines. Like, look at that. That's gorgeous. That's what separates all the parts. Like, see? Oh, I love it. I'm very excited to read this. Almost as excited as I was to read my next one. I have already read this. I got it through the post and I read it in a day. This might be one of my favourite new adult contemporary authors. And this might be one of my favourite series on Hades and Persephone. And that is A Touch of Ruin by Scarlett St. Clair. Scarlett St. Clair, her writing is beautiful. It's wonderful. The relationship that she's made between Hades and Persephone, oh my gosh. This book is a definite 18 plus though, because lots and lots of trigger warnings. This is book 2 of the series. The first book is called A Touch of Darkness. And I can't remember what the third one's called, but this amazing, wonderful, great. And there's also an entire series of this storyline written from Hades' perspective. This is currently written from Persephone's. I loved it. I will be rereading these books and I will be going through them and annotating them because I like annotating my books now. And I got distracted. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's the character arcs. It's the mercy that, oh, I love it. And that is everything for kind of Greek fiction. I don't have loads. And onwards to my final, but possibly favourite section. This one has, well, let me just try and illustrate to you how many books I have bought. And this is only some of them. But these are the ones that I'm going to be putting into this haul. I'll put them down there. But first, this is so exciting. I got this through the post yesterday. What is this, you ask? These are the textbooks that my university sent me for my first compulsory module. Oh, I'm so excited. So, you go in, Student Association, a letter from the chairman of the module, a read me first explaining the module. The module is called Discovering Arts and Humanities. Just so we clarify, I did say at the beginning of this video that I'm doing an Arts and Humanities degree. I'm doing an Arts and Humanities degree that specialises in creative writing and classical studies. But that won't be starting properly until my second year. So anyways, this explaining the module and then the huge and exciting ones. I don't know which book is which, like which one I'm doing first. Oh, that's book 2. It tells me on the inside. Right, so book 1 is Reputations. That looks like a queen of some description. So in this book, we talk about Cleopatra, Mary, Mother of Jesus, Elizabeth I, see it was a queen, Mozart, Mary Wollstonecraft, Charles Dickens in A Christmas Carol, one of my favourite Charles Dickens novels ever. I read that every year at Christmas. I've got such a beautiful copy. And Van Gogh. And honestly, I'm very excited. Like, my first thing that I'm studying is flipping Cleopatra. Like, yes, please. So that's book 1. Move my shoes so I can put these down. Book 2. Traditions, with a Greek statue that has sunglasses on. Kind of want it framed and on my wall, I'll be honest. And in here, chapter 1 is Greek and Roman sculpture. Yeah! Chapter 2 is the blues. Chapter 3, writing stories. Chapter 4, reading poetry. I love poetry. I did have poetry books that I was going to put in this haul, and I decided to just not and wait until I bought some more and then do an entire haul about poetry books. Anyways, chapter 5 is questioning tradition. Chapter 6 is remembering and forgetting in Ireland. That's going to be an interesting one. For those of you who don't know, I grew up in Northern Ireland. I am half Northern Irish, so it's going to be interesting because I imagine they will probably go through, like, from the very beginning when Ireland was still completely Ireland and there wasn't a Southern and Northern Ireland. I could be wrong. Do not quote me on this. But that'll be interesting. Then chapter 7, Christianity and its material culture. Again, very interesting. I've been a Christian my entire life. So that will be an interesting chapter to read. I haven't done much religious studies, mainly because whenever I looked at religious studies for like GCSE or A-level, no. I don't like exams where they tell you what the answers are and you have to regurgitate that word for word, otherwise you don't get the marks. Like, give me an opinion-based exam. And the final chapter in this is the revival of the Gothic tradition. I would assume that's in art and architecture rather than being goth, but I could be wrong. Who knows? And then the final book is Crossing Boundaries, and I swear this is on many religious studies textbooks. But in this one we will be studying Antigone by Sophocles. That is coming through the post soon. I ordered a copy of that. We're going to be studying The Island. Now, who is The Island by? Oh, it's a play. Right, that's a play. Then we go on to talking about music and protest in South Africa. The art of Benin. My sister would know how to pronounce that. So that's chapter 4.1. Chapter 4.2 is the conquest of Benin in the 1890s. Chapter 5.1 is the arrival of Benin art in Europe. Chapter 5.2 is the Benin sculptures and modern art. And then chapter 6 is Buddhism in practice. And chapter 7 is philosophy and compassion. I am so excited to study this. Like, you have no idea. So excited. And then, like, genuinely just haven't even taken the price tag off this. I'm a bit weird, okay? In that I collect Collins Gem dictionaries, or just Collins Gem books. And so I've got 2 English dictionaries that are Collins Gem and 1 French, and I will be getting a classical Greek and a Latin one quite soon. But I found this in a charity shop and I just had to get it for my collection, and it's the Collins Gem Thesaurus. Look how cute that is. Look how small it is. Look at the pages. Oh, love it. I love it, and it looks so good with my collection. And my dad's going to put up a shelf in my office. We're currently in the middle of putting up shelves and sorting out my office properly. He's going to put up a shelf specifically for my Colin Gems collection. Oh. Right. The rest of these books are primarily, in fact, I'll do this one first, because then we can go into the primarily. I want to learn French. I'm not studying French, I just happen to want to learn it. And so, partially for the aesthetic, partially because, you know what, it'd be really cool to read this, I got a book written in French. It is Letters de Mon Moulin by Alphonse Daudet. And this copy is from 1935. Now, again, if you follow me on Instagram, if you know me, you know I collect old books and I love them. And this will be adding to my collection. I'm going to be learning French on Duolingo. And also just sort of in my spare time. And I'm very excited because I've always wanted to learn French, and because I'm not doing GCSEs or A-levels, and because I'm actually at a point in my life where I can do education for the rest of my life if I want. That is so exciting for me. I'm going to learn French. And another great thing about this book, it has annotations from the previous owner. Now, many readers will tell you that that is awful, but I love books that have annotations from the previous author in. Previous reader. I'm not so keen on the fact that they've done it in blue pen here. But you know what? We roll with its annotations nonetheless. And I cannot wait to read this. I got this in a charity shop. It was like £1.50. From 1935. I love charity shops. Honestly, love them. Right, and the rest of these are primarily Greek and Roman history, or to do with Latin or ancient Greek. As there's a classics part to my degree, I don't specifically, because of my degree is with the Open University, I don't specifically have to know Latin and ancient Greek, but I have a Latin GCSE and I want to get back into Latin, and I have always wanted to learn ancient Greek. Just because, how cool would that be? So, I'm going to try. I don't know what's going to happen. I might give up. But you know what? We try. And it'll be really helpful for, like, reading texts in, like, the original as well, if I can. This was also something I'll be studying by myself. I did research. If you study a language for 10 minutes a day, you can become fluent in it. 10 minutes a day doesn't sound like that much. So we got some Latin, some ancient Greek, and then we've also got lots of writing from the Greek and Roman period. I did have 2 more books that I wanted to put into this haul, but they haven't come through yet. It's really upsetting. I was like sitting at the door going, package, and the post didn't come. So those will be in haul number 2. But my first thing is Gwyn's Latin. I got this from Waterstones. Well, I say I got this. My boyfriend bought it for me. But this is the ultimate introduction to Latin, including Latin in everyday English. Look, it tells me everything I need to know. I've still got all of my books from GCSE. And I loved Latin. I loved it. I hated translating English into Latin. Latin into English, oh, it was so beautiful. You know when you just know you can read something in another language and it'll make sense? Nothing defeats that feeling apart from maybe being in love. Nothing. And I can't wait to get to that point again. And this is a beautiful book. Look, it's yellow, it's cute, it's hardback. Love it. Next up, Pandora's Jar. Now this, I didn't know whether to put this in this section or whether to put it in the fiction, but I think it goes in this section. This is by Natalie Haynes. I think, was it her? She did another book. What other book did she do? 1,000 Ships, which I have not read yet, but is on my TBR. And she, is a passionate classicist, and Pandora's Jar is about women in Greek myths. And I am obsessed with the portrayal of women in Greek myths, because they tend to be portrayed, especially by lots of modern day classicists, and especially by non-modern day classicists. They're portrayed as the villain in everything. Like, Hera is constantly portrayed as the villain in every myth. And every class you take, it's like, oh no, she was a villain, she was horrible to all the women Zeus had sex with. Yeah, that's Zeus's fault, not Hera's. He was the one who had affairs. Like, come on. And in this book, she concentrates on the women in the myths and how remarkable they are and what they did. I can't wait to read this. Literally cannot wait. Next up is another old book. This is Ancient Classics. It is Virgil, I believe. It is a... yeah, this is a collection of Virgil's works. So we've got the poet, we have the pastorals, got the Aeneid. It smells like an old book. It was printed in... I want to say... late 1800s. So the original version of this was in 1870 and the reprint was 1882. I don't know if this is the reprint or the original. I'd assume it's a reprint, but I don't know. I got this for £2.99 for a book from the late 1800s on Virgil with annotations. Do you get how exciting my life is? Like, so exciting. So exciting. I can't wait to read this. It's got the Aeneid, it's got the Sibyl and the Shades. Oh, Virgil has my heart and I can't wait to read all of this. This is the Aeneid, so Roman era writing. Which I don't read a lot of Roman era writing. I do read a lot of Virgil, but I don't do Roman era as much as I do the Greek era. So cannot wait to read this, go through it with a pencil. Next up, we have The 12 Caesars by, I'm going to butcher this name, Suetonius? Sweetinus? And in this, we have it is about, hang on, I have to read. It is about the 12 Caesars. So we've got Julius Caesar, Augustus Caesar, Tiberius, Gaius Caligula, Claudius Nero, Galba, Otho, Vitellius, Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian. This is beautiful, and also there, I have discovered, because on the back, see, it's got loads of writing here, which says all the other Penguin classics that they have. So they've got the Aeneid, they've got Plato the Republic. I read the Republic at the beginning of this year. Really great. The first few books were really great. Not so great afterwards. But anyways, I will be collecting more of these. This is the Purple Classics by Penguin. And this one was published in 1957. So it goes in my old books. And it's so pretty. And smells old bookish. Got that one second hand as well. For not a lot. One of my favourite Greek myths is the Odyssey. Like, oh my days, I love the Odyssey. And I found this translation of the Odyssey for £2.50 the other day. I have many translations of the Odyssey. I have the Spark Notes. I have the GCSE ones. I have so many translations of the Odyssey. And my boyfriend bullies me for it quite a lot. But I just love it. And this one, I'm reading this. This is on my reading list for this month. So I will be reading this month. And I will be reviewing it and talking about it. And showing you guys some of my annotations and stuff. Homer. Oh, Homer. I love Homer. Anyways, so this is a really beautiful one, and this is I'm trying to find the translation. This is the trying to see who the translator is. That it's not retold or paraphrased. Wonderful. We don't like E.V. Roux. So this translation is, so this book was printed in 2018, but the translation is from 1945. How cool is that? Honestly. My life is so cool. I'm reading translations of the Odyssey from 1945. 10-year-old Charlie would be quaking in her shoes right now. This is so exciting. You know what's more exciting? The Odyssey in ancient Greek. Ancient Greek! Look how pretty it is. Can you see it? I'm not sure because the sun is here. The only reason I would learn ancient Greek is to read this book. That's a lie, but you know what, it's dramatic. And this one was published, see, all of it is written in ancient Greek. Or Latin. So, I'm not sure if that was Greek or Latin. It looks Latin. But this was published in, I think 1917, and was gifted as a prize in 1941. It is beautiful. I love this. Put that up there with the old books. Right. Next up, I have been looking for this book for ages because it's quite expensive, new. And I was really hoping I could find it second hand, and I found it in a charity shop 2 days ago. It's Troy by Stephen Fry. I love Stephen Fry. And it just... I love it. I can't wait to read this. He's done lots of other books. I'll probably buy the other ones new because it's really difficult to find these secondhand, and especially at a good price secondhand, because sometimes when you go to buy them secondhand, they're more expensive than they are new. This one was £2.50. I can't wait to read this. Can't wait. Honestly, love it. And then also this, which, you know, I think every classics student should read this. It's on a lot of classics reading lists. I got like 4 books off my classics reading list that I wrote for myself, not that the university gave me, that I wrote for myself. But this is A History of Ancient Rome by Mary Beard. I saw this in Foyles like a month ago and it was £15. I think. I could be wrong. And I found it in a charity shop for £3. And I'd already gone in there and bought 11 books from that charity shop. But I had to come back and get this when I saw it in the window. It's going to be really interesting to read this because it covers like some really interesting, like it covers the politics, Cicero, the kings, empires, emperors, haves and haves not. It covers everything, and I think it'll be really interesting. My boyfriend loves sort of Roman era military tactics and stuff, and we talk about that a lot. But I've always been more interested in sort of Greek history because the art, obviously. So I'll be really interested to see if this like gets me as interested in Roman history as I am in Greek history. So yeah. And my final book of the haul. I have gone on for so long about these books. Like, I have like 3 minutes for the fiction books. And I have been going on for 20 minutes now about these books. We love that. But my final one is Media and Other Plays by Euripides. I happen to know that Euripides is used quite a lot in sort of in the degree. So I've just been flicking through and I have discovered that it is very annotated. So that's cool. I will probably get myself another copy that I can annotate myself that doesn't have other people's annotations in it. But reading annotations from other people who have read this is really interesting. So I'm very interested to read this. And actually these annotations will be really helpful. But I always like to have a couple of copies of books, especially if I'm studying them, so that I can have a copy that I don't annotate and a copy that I do annotate. Because annotated books look so cool. So yeah, and this copy is from the Oxford University Press. Was published in... Sorry, I'm just trying to find it. Someone's been drawing in the book. Hence why I need one of my own. So I'm sort of like trying to see. I don't know when this copy was published. But I'm very excited to read this, and yeah, I do need to get a copy that I can annotate myself, but that's still very cool. I'll be reading through those annotations, seeing what the previous owner thought. This was also secondhand, so yes, and that is my book haul part 1. I'm sorry if I nattered on too long about books. I tend to do that. But I will link my social medias below. I'll use my link tree because that'll give you my TikTok, my Instagram, it'll give you where to find my book, and it will show you, it'll also have a link to my Amazon wishlist of books. They're mainly fiction books. I don't really put my sort of classics books in there, but you can see sort of what I'm interested in, what I'm reading, that kind of thing. So yes, please subscribe. It would mean a lot if you did. And comment below what your favourite book of the haul was and what you're going to be studying this year. Yes. And I will see you guys next week. I don't know what for yet, but for something. I will see you guys next week.